introduce. I'm a civil servant. I work for the Ministry of Economic Affairs. Next year I'll be working for the Ministry of the Interior. And well, I've been sort of looking at the relationship between government and society and how the internet and WebTube specifically is changing that. So I'm very honored to be here and in this whole range of speakers. Well, I'm not going to have a very technical talk. I'm a historian myself. So I like the history bit of this evening, but all the technical jokes I didn't get. Perhaps someone can explain it to me later. So I'm going to start with a bit of history. Does work. That works. The sort of, no, not the riddle, but the quiz I was going to do is a bit spoiled by the fact that you sort of saw it already what the answer was, and also that someone else already had the same joke, same analogy this evening. But we'll start with asking of course who this is.
One of Mark's brothers. Civil servants 0. Beta.
Nee, van Philips.
So this is Karl Marx. I'll see if I can align this. Karl Marx. And the reason why he's here is I'm not going to have a whole discussion about socialism or das Kapital or whatever. Is because of this meeting that he was at. And this is the first Socialist International, first international. It was in 1864. He was there, he was in all the international boards during that time, Mr. Marx. And the reason why I asked is why was that meeting held? Well, it was held, of course, because laborers were, well, in their vision, oppressed, and they didn't have a very nice life. That is true. So they brought all those people together to talk about, on this international socialist congress, to talk about how to make life better for laborers. But why was that for the first time that happened, 1864? For one reason, because factories were becoming more commonplace. There was a proletariat coming about. They were oppressed, etc. But farmers had been oppressed before that for many ages. There was never sort of a farmers' congress held in London or in Paris or in Berlin or whatever. So why did it happen in 1864? Well, you already saw the answer, I believe. Well,
Tomato.
the answer was trade.
Mobility.
I have another picture there as well. I believe you like all these schemes and all that. I like maps as a sort of a scheme as well. But this is a map of France, and it has all the train lines between 1843 and 1861, I believe. So in about 20 years, all these railways were built. So it was quite a fast revolution. They started a bit late, they were complaining about themselves. You heard the story at the introduction about canals, and why shouldn't we try faster canals and that sort of thing. But in the end, it did come about. And it was a change, of course, in infrastructure. This was a new infrastructure that made possible better communications, better travel, faster travel, and of course that sort of was a new platform. Because it was a platform in the sense that suddenly it was possible to travel somewhere and do it quickly, and to do it cheaply. Before that, international contacts had been there, of course. There have always been contacts between, of course, countries, ambassadors, that sort of thing. Our Turkish alliance since 400 years in the Netherlands, but also, of course, economic trade. But now, for the first time, normal people, like labourers or representatives of labourers, they could come together. So it was a new level, sort of a raised level for communication, for organisation. So the reason why they came together was for the first time that they could come together as labourers in a cheap way. And that, of course, changed history. So this idea of the internet, of course, has the same effect. We're putting in a new level of contact, of communication, of organisation. So my interest is not a technical one, I know yours is, and you're doing a fine job, but mine is more an organisational one, communication. So, to our next quiz. Anyone? This is a bit harder than this one. No?
In Engels?
No, I try. There are civil servants here. I know there are. Anyway, it's Max Weber. Very good.
1.0.
So he wrote a lot about bureaucracies. And the idea of bureaucracies was if you have a plan, a political plan, and you want to get to results in society, you need an organization to implement your ideas. And you need a bureaucratic organization to do that. Governments have always tried to influence the areas that they ruled, but now for the first time they could reach more areas. They could have a bigger impact on society. So there are great things came from that. The fact that suddenly it was possible to, for example, bring back child labour. Not bring back, but to reduce. So to reduce child labour, to get education for into small villages. There was an organisation, top-down organisation, hierarchies that could implement great ideas into society. But the problem is that this idea of this big government organisation to have that much impact, that machine is sort of is not as effective as it used to be. So, by the way, there's one thing I need to add. It wasn't all great what bureaucracies, of course, did. If we pick up the Marxist line again, of course, totalitarian states are also a result of very good working bureaucracies, and that is not a very healthy environment. But the machine, of course, used to work. It doesn't work that well anymore. And that is the reason why in a magazine I said, to an interviewer I said, well, the government is becoming less relevant. And a lot of people were shocked by that. A lot of people in government were shocked by that. Because the whole idea that we have this organization, all these people, all this money, and we can change a society and give it a certain direction is of course the basis of a lot of bureaucracies and the basis of these hierarchies. But the reason why I said that, and you put it on the front page, I didn't know that, of course, but it did have an impact. The reason is that in modern society is not just one government organization that from that first idea and the first political command just rolls out this new policy and rolls out these new ideas. Usually it's a sort of a collaboration between different government organizations. It's not just one ministry doing one area. Most problems in society are so complicated. It's more government organizations that have to work together, they have to collaborate. And actually it's not just government organizations, it's also many other organizations that have to work together. So it's more of a network thing, a collaborative thing, a co-creation, than actually one organization putting something in place. And it goes for more and more areas. So that is one development. Secondly, it's not just government organizations. Often it's organizations of society as well. It's companies, it's citizen initiatives, it's corporations, it's whatever. So on the one hand, there's a shift from government organizations to network working. There's a shift to from government organizations to different groups in society, and parts of society. And thirdly, if you have to work in these collaborative environments, you're not in you are somewhere in the hierarchy as a civil servant, but on the other hand, you're also in that network. So it's not the government organization that's doing things, it's actually more an individual thing of civil servants collaborating with other people. So in all these areas, there's three shifts actually away from government organizations and them becoming, well, less relevant, as I said. So that's the idea of the network society, which is, by the way, if we're on the subject anyway, a Dutch invention. At least the name is. It's Jan van Dijk over there. He's at the University of Amsterdam. He wrote, 1992, he wrote the book, The Network Society. And you have all these different other people writing about the network society, Castells and that sort of people. But they all borrowed this name. So this is his idea of the network society. And and this is not just about networks in the sense that we're talking about here, it's networks of people. And he was looking at different trends in society, which I think are becoming quicker, going faster nowadays because of the internet and because of this new level of organization and a new level of collaboration. So if you want to look as a government at how are we still going to manage that, if we have an idea, we vote for people, they are put into government, they have an idea and they want to implement that. Or if you look at government as a body that looks at the general purpose and the general health. You do want to think about, if the machine is no longer working, what is a new way to implement ideas, political ideas into society. You have to think about that. And my idea is that there are three ways of looking at it. Sort of take off the hierarchical glasses and put on network glasses, network society glasses. Where there are three elements you can look at. On one hand, if you want to influence society, you need to influence the networking groups, the collaborative groups, the co-creation groups that are building that society, that are working in that area. That's one thing. Secondly, if you come to the conclusion that the people that are in that group, in the civil service that are in that group, are there as an individual, you have to think about how to empower those individuals so that they can better do their job and influence what is happening in that group. And the third area, I believe, and that is something that's not really in this definition, but sort of added by me, is the fact that there are platforms that you can use as a way to sort of speed up and make it better, the collaboration. Can't think of the English word. Anyway, so these platforms are a way to bring people together and to sort of facilitate how that co-creation and collaboration works. So if you have this platform, this level of how people connect, how people exchange ideas, how they collaborate and build something new. If you can raise that level, you sort of raise the level of the results as well. So by investing in platforms, you can also invest in the end result. And internet, of course, in general is a platform like that, but within the internet there are platforms like that as well. I have some examples of that. For example, I don't know how we are with the time, but I'll go through it quickly. There's a platform built by the Ministry of Agriculture, as it was called then, where with the idea, okay, we have to have this, we actually want a sort of a knowledge network for the countryside. And usually they'd go to the university, agriculture university, but now they said, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to build a platform where everyone who has ideas and knowledge about the countryside can join and can exchange ideas. That was sort of a new idea, and by doing that, they brought these people together and they helped raise knowledge about the countryside. So the very early idea of how they tried by building a platform, raising the level of knowledge. They do it in areas and cities as well. If you can bring people together, you can help develop an area in the city. You can get citizens together and so they can have new ideas and start something new, etc. And this is petitions.nl, petitie.nl, where also a platform with the idea of bringing ideas from the people, getting all these signatures together and bringing that to politics is of course the idea to get ideas to politics quicker. But you can also, and that's all still about information, but you can also exchange work in that way. For example, Flexby is the idea is if all civil servants put on a profile on this platform, tell what they're good at, what job they have, etc. You can see what knowledge within government is available, and people that are looking for certain knowledge, they don't have to buy it outside or whatever. They can find someone else in another government organization and ask him to come and help. Which is of course the goal behind it, of course, is to work more efficiently. If the knowledge is also already available within the government, why not use it? So there's a way of using platforms as a sort of a policy instrument. And that is the idea behind Pleio as well, which is started from the civil servant 2.0 network as a means of letting people within government and other people as well collaborate on public tasks in the public domain. So the goal for us is to get more people together and collaborate, because they couldn't do that before that because they all had their own ICT environments. So that's the goal behind that, to make more one government. So the idea here, to end this all, is to have a look at, okay, if we want, if we see that there's a new platform where people can work together, where there's a higher level of collaboration, a higher level of organization is possible. If you can see that it is a platform that goes through organizational barriers, goes through every barrier. It's international. It works in every organization. If we can conclude that, then you can collaborate with people from all these different organizations and sort of have a higher level of co-creation. If you know that, if you have that idea, if you have a platform where people can collaborate from government and from companies and citizen initiatives and that sort of thing. You have a way of better looking at finer distribution, vision of who is doing what. You don't have to automatically look at government, we want something so the government does it, but you can have a better division of, okay, if we want something done, you're good at doing that, you're good at doing that, we're going to do that, we're bringing that together. In that way you can sort of raise the level of collaboration in public tasks. And that is the idea, I believe, that we, in the future, we're looking at sort of a redistribution as well of who's doing what in society. Not automatically looking at government doing things, not just saying, oh, this is something that the market has to solve, but looking at sort of a co-creation where there's a finer division between who's doing what. Because of time, I'm not going to delve into the different examples I have there, but I can say that there's another old man there as well. Huh? Good? Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, that's good. So he actually already said, what can people do themselves? That is what we have to think about. Can government give a platform where there's a better distribution? So I'm not going to go into all that because there's a book coming out.
Another book.
And it's still in Dutch. I'm looking for a financial for money to translate it. So if anyone is interested, that is a good idea. It's going to come out next Wednesday, the 28th, and it's going to be free to download. So there's no coupons or anything. You can just download it or order it already at book.antwerpen.nl. And that's it.
Something free from the government.
Yes.
Okay, more speakers.